I want to spend time on it is because I just realized something recently, which is so we were talking about, I have a 3-day-old baby at this moment. And the second he was born, I just like started bawling. It was like an awful labor and all of these things. And later, I'm sitting in the hotel room, or in the hospital room, just sitting there. And I started journaling a little bit. And I realized, people had asked, "Oh, are you ready for the baby? Are you this? Are you that?" And I was like, "It's fine. It's my third kid. Like it's not even a thing." Right. And then the day after, I realized I don't think I had processed at all what this new human was going to do.
Correct.
And here's what's crazy about that. I believe myself to be a fairly introspective, intelligent, whatever individual. I don't even realize when I'm blocking things out, when I'm not allowing myself to, feel things or internalize. How much of this is just unconscious? How much of this pushing things off or avoiding is just habitual to where we don't even realize it?
I certainly think, I'm going to say one thing before I answer your question,
Yeah.
which is this: you are very introspective, right? Because you're able to sit there and journal and understand that you're blocking it.
After the fact.
But sometimes we're in survival mode, and I imagine getting ready for a third kid, you're trying to put everything in order to have that third kid.
Exactly.
And your brain basically said to you, the playbook here, you don't have to spend time here, right? And so then you're sort of doing the right thing. It's just a kid is a kid, and it's different than the first two kids. Mm-hmm. And so then there's this emotional load, right? Mm-hmm. But I'll answer your question, which is, some of this, I think, is automatic pilot, that somehow we grew up and we start doing it and we avoid to survive. And that's just how we do it, right? Is it unconscious? I don't know, because I think, at least in my experience, people know when they're stuck. They may not know immediately, but they sort of can tell me that they are doing something to try to make themselves feel better. Now, they may not call it avoidance, but there is a level of insight there. But to your point, which is very insightful, once we get on that treadmill, we don't want to see reality any other way. It's like the only way to survive is to avoid. Right. And, I'll give you an example. A friend of mine is in the middle of a divorce. He's finally divorced. And I was just meeting with him. And she said to me, "Well, if she let me move back in the basement, that would be really good." And I was like, "You just signed divorce papers." He's like, "Well, but it would be great because we could help." They have kids. I could help with a kid. And I was like, "Do you understand your level of avoidance?"
Oh.
But do you see,
didn't even want to address the reality of the situation.
And that's, I think, how, to your point of unconscious, I think people are so afraid to face reality that they don't look, right? They just don't look.
That's more in line with what I mean. And I think there's enough things we can distract ourselves with. And I'm not even talking social media and all that. I mean everything. I mean busyness. I mean accomplishment. I mean task orientation. All of that, right? A positive way, a seemingly positive way to get the same result, which is avoidance, which doesn't do us any good.
That is such an important point. Some of us who are high functioning, our best flavor procrastination of avoidance is not procrastination. We do more and more and more and more to not feel. We do more and more to prove that we're enough. We do more and more to fit in, even when we're hitting a wall, even when we know that we're neglecting our family or our physical body. We just push ahead. And that's plain old avoidance.
Right.